Hi, I'm Dean Bushmiller with Expanding Security, and I wanted to talk to you about the updates to the CISSP. If you come to any of my classes, normally what happens is I assume that you know nothing. You come into the class, you say, I'm interested in the CISSP, and the market has moved on. Now, people are coming into the CISSP with a clear understanding of what it is and how it works, what your score is supposed to be, how you're supposed to show up for your exams. And so I'm shifting the way that we do the CISSP for the future. From now on, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can look up the basics of any CISSP class. That would be the concept section. If you're in one of the paid channels, like O'Reilly, maybe even expandingsecurity.com, where you've bought a course there, or you even go to something like Vimeo and watch the full video downloads there. So you can do those things up front. I'm going to assume that you've at least watched the concept section of every single one of the videos that is the basic unit of learning for the CISSP when we discuss all of the different 8 domains. So that's assumed knowledge up front. So what are we going to be doing in class? And what are you going to be doing to prepare for class? And that brings me to my favorite exercise of all times, which we're going to be doing a lot more of. It's called threats and controls. In threats and controls, what we do is we say, okay, we're in a domain. This is the context of it. And here's a threat. Well, is that a specific threat or is that a vague threat? What's going on there? And so this requires you to come up with some creativity out of yourself and say, oh, when it's SQL injection, that's very specific. I know that I can solve SQL injection with this particular control. Or I could solve it with these other controls right here. And I propose a threat, you propose a control. It's called threats and controls. So we're going to do that exercise first and foremost, most of the time with every single activity of every single domain. Once I frame the domain or the subdomain, you can do that on the YouTube channel. I'm going to set up all of my shorts so that they are 1-minute shorts, and each one of those 1 minutes is going to be a threat and control activity. Your job is to go in there and you'll see the little pause button pop up. And so I'll say, here's the threat. You click pause, you go, okay, well, then this would be the good control. And then you write it down, you make a note card out of it. You do the other things that we've talked about previously. You do all that stuff, and then you hit play again, and you can see my control. You go, well, wait a minute, Dean, you didn't give me the same control as I had. It was different. And that's where you can post inside of the forums. You can post on my Substack. You can post on YouTube for all the different threats and controls, and the shorts you can post right there to get a reaction from me. So that's threats and controls, and that's going to be the major game that we play in all classes. After we get through threats and controls, there are 4 or 5 other activities that you can play along with. I'll talk about those in separate videos, but what I wanted you to know is that today, cybersecurity has moved on. The expectation for you is to have watched at least the concept of each one of the topics that we're talking about. Because they're all published to YouTube freely, you can get them there and you can say, I understand this concept. Now, if you want to dig deeper past the concept and you look at the entire mind map and you see that there's a 60 to 90 minute presentation there that is on one of my paid channels, you can go there. So that's what we're doing new in the CISSP. We're calling it CISSP Infinity. So there will be no particular date or time as to, oh, this is the new version of the exam, because I'm going to be keeping up with the exam in real time as it changes based on the new cybersecurity topics that are out there. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon.